Welcome back to another awesome episode of Life on the Ave. This is episode 78, and I am joined here by my new friend, Kim Mazewski.
Yes.
I got it right on the first try. That's on St. Hedwig's Education for you. I went to a Polish Catholic school growing up, so thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you so much for having me. It's really exciting to be here.
Good. I can't wait to talk to you. I think a lot of our audience is going to eat you up and love all of the things that you can provide. And hopefully we get some new clients out of this, because I feel like if I was watching this episode, I'd be calling you immediately. And I still might be. All right. So I'm going to jump into your bio and then we'll get to learn more about you.
Thank you.
So Kim Mazewski is Delaware's only certified professional organizer, CPO, is the blissfully proud owner of Consciously Cleared and Contained as a licensed occupational therapist, mama, and queer woman who openly shares her own mental health journey. Empathy is her superpower. Her expertise is personalized decluttering and home organization for families, as well as organizing for people with brain-based conditions to find intuitive solutions. She's earned 70 plus 5-star reviews on Google. She can be seen dropping off donations at local nonprofits, elevating other small business owners, love that, or feverishly writing her blog at a favorite neighborhood coffee shop. Her passion is empowering through decluttering and helping curate a home you love that's easy to reset. And she was recently featured in Delaware Today. So welcome, Kim.
Oh, thank you so much.
I'm so excited to have you. So I'm going to turn it over to you. How did we get here? Tell us a little elevator pitch background on you.
Okay. 3 pivotal moments.
Oh, she's ready.
I'm ready. I could talk about this literally all day. Yeah. My second favorite thing to talk about after my family. So when I was a kid, my sister and I stumbled across this article called something to the effect of 10 things to do to spruce up your bedroom.
Okay.
And we had a home where there were things happening that were outside of our control, and it was scary for us as little kids. Mm-hmm. And so we would take to the bedroom and we would say, let's play 10 things.
Aww.
Not play house.
You shared a room?
No, we had 2 separate bedrooms. Not play house, not play dolls. Let's play 10 things. And so we would sometimes split up, and she would do my room and I would do hers. And we would go through this list of 10 things, and we would spruce up the bedroom. Mm-hmm. Or sometimes we would work together in the space. We would move furniture around. We would declutter, which at the time looked like just throwing things in the trash can because we were kids. We didn't know.
Yeah.
And we would, set the stage a little bit on our dressers and have everything really staged beautifully. We'd open the windows and clean. And
Aww.
It was just such an awesome way as a child who really is powerless over so many things happening in the home to carve out this really safe space that was just ours, that we could take some control over. Yeah. So we can't control what's happening outside of this bedroom door, but we can make sure that our bedroom feels safe, comforting, soothing, relaxing, and exactly what we need. Wow. And so that was part of my upbringing. That's a big part of who I was. I'm also a person who has had mental health problems since I was a teenager. And so when I told my mom I was doing this, she was like, oh, isn't that funny? I don't really think of you as a little homemaker.
Right.
But also, when you are depressed, it presents as things are all over your floor. Yeah. It presents as not being able to do simple tasks like putting things away when you're done with them. And so my mom knew me in high school to have a very messy room.
Right.
And we had forgotten about the 10 things. And obviously you're too cool as a teenager to do that.
Right, to play those games.
But I always wanted to live in a city. Moved to New York City right after undergrad, and then in Philly. So moving in the city, you move a lot, right? And they're small apartments. And so
it's expensive to move.
It's expensive to move. And maybe this apartment doesn't even have a closet. Maybe this apartment doesn't have any counter space. So you're always, it's very dynamic and your needs always shift, right?
Adapting.
And also being young, 20s, 30s, being single, not married, you're changing. You're growing into the person that you are. And so I'm lucky that I never had that attachment to things, that I always lean toward minimalism, and that every time you move, it's opportunity to assess what you have. And so part of the problem with clients or people that have trouble with clutter is that you become almost blind to it. You open up your cabinet and you get your coffee cup and you're using the same 1 or 2 coffee cups every single day.
Yes.
But the whole cabinet is like totally riddled with cups and glasses and mugs and, you know, everything from free swag that you got to a holiday thing to something that's chipped. Like, we don't use those things. So you just become blind to it because you have to, right?
Right.
But so every time you move, you make these decisions. And then, so I had never had that big problem. And so the second moment for my life was when a long-term relationship ended, and it was brutal.
Yeah.
She moved out. We had lived there for some time together, and everything was painful. Everything was a memory that held all of this tightness and tension and pain and agony in just stuff. And I've never been this person to be like so attached to my things.
Yeah.
And it just so happened that Marie Kondo's book
Wow. What
fell
timing.
into my lap.
Wow.
And her thing, of course, is like, does it spark joy?
Yeah.
I don't know if I read that book today, if it would carry that same like weight
home
for
is
me.
hard, yeah.
But wow. The first thing was, I'm allowed to feel joy right now.
Mm-hmm. Right. Giving yourself that permission.
Wow. Because all I feel is pain.
Yeah.
So like, what would it look like to feel joy again? I can't even imagine.
Right.
And so I read the book. I devoured it. It was everything I needed. And I went through my apartment, Marie Kondo style. Picture me in the city of Philadelphia, pushing one of those little metal carts all the way down Patchogue Avenue to Philly Aids Thrift, and just taking load after load after load of things that were weighing me down. Mm-hmm. So much so that my apartment became, and the word that I use lovingly is barren.
Yeah.
It became so empty. And that was exactly what I needed to think about a next chapter.
Yeah, to see straight. Yeah, because sometimes I think we're so distracted by the things on our walls and in our cupboards and in our closets, like you can't even think. You're just like so bombarded by stuff. Wow, what a powerful story.
There's a lot of privilege that comes with it too,
Yes,
to be able
of
to say
course.
like, I don't need
have
this,
these
it can
things.
go.
Right.
You know, staying in that abundant mindset instead of going into scarcity of like, I should keep this just in case. Mm-hmm. But being able to create this landscape for myself, literally to come home and sit and not have distraction with clutter and not have distraction with painful memories of things that we purchased together or that she really loved or things like this. And so that was a huge moment for me.
Right.
And the second lesson that I got out of Marie Kondo's book was learning to become a more conscious consumer and only buy the things that you really truly
This is a whole nother episode.
love.
Right?
Whole nother
we could talk
episode.
about that for days. I think about this all the time. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think we just are over consuming, especially this day and age. And we're all just buying and buying and buying and buying. And it's getting out of hand. It's truly getting out of hand.
100%.
So fast forward, how do we turn this into a business?
So that's the next part.
Part three.
Number 3. You don't have to be so organized. Part 3, it was the pandemic. Wow. My wife was carrying our baby. I suddenly became this person who had to have everything, everything brand new, multiples of everything to have options. I became obsessed with social media and scrolling and Pinterest and creating this perfect nursery and this perfect playroom. And we have a tiny little duplex. And so what happened was it's COVID. So we cannot have a baby shower. So people are shipping things to our home, dropping off donations. And suddenly you cannot see the floor.
Yeah.
And so it's already this time of total anxiety and the whole world is falling apart and we don't know what's happening, but also this transitional period of my life becoming a parent.
Yeah.
My anxiety was so bad. It was through the roof.
I bet.
And I'm looking around and suddenly I'm angry.
Right.
And I'm like, why do we have like 4 different places for a baby to sit when they can't even sit?
Right.
Like, why do we have this? This is the same thing. This is duplicates. And just realizing like, wow, I'm really out of alignment with my vision for my life and who I am and how I want to raise my child, because I don't need any of this.
Right. Ultimately, I'm a mother of two, and I believe like babies ultimately just need us.
I mean, so true.
Yeah. They just need happy parents.
Yes. Yes. And if you think about what your children's favorite things are, it's engaging with you.
Correct.
It's you being present, you putting down your phone. And so this is a lesson I'm learning as a business owner, to have that balance. But oh my gosh, it really just simplified everything. So being able to just, oops, you know what? We're going to return this. We're going to give this back to our friend. Like, we don't have capacity to store. Our house is small. Also, I don't want that mental load of having all of these things. So, hand-me-downs is a big issue that people deal with as parents. But so that was like really the biggest turning moment. And it's like, really, like, this is defining who I am, and this is a lifestyle, and I am about it. And then learning about Montessori as a philosophy for learning when my son was maybe 9 months was like, oh wow, this is so perfectly like complementing what's happening in my home. And when I take away things and I only have a few things out, he does really well. He plays more independently. He plays more creatively. He's showing better problem solving. And he's just figuring things out. And it's cool to watch the brain work, and there's actual research that has proven that kids do much better with fewer things, more open-ended toys, so that they can really think outside the box and grow in a lot of ways versus having every single thing.
Right. I have a lot of mom friends that have huge toy rooms and playrooms, and their kids are ultimately in the living room with them with one toy. They grab one toy and they bring it in and they play with it. And then they bring one toy and they play with it. And then all of a sudden their living room becomes their playroom, and then their playroom is just like a graveyard for toys. And now all of a sudden they have toys all over their house. And I think we kind of fall into that trap as parents, like, oh, well, we need to buy another toy. We need to buy another toy. That's then going to make them happy. And it's the same concept with us. Oh, if I buy this new handbag, if I buy these new shoes, and it just gets out of hand. So I think that's so cool to recognize before the baby was even here.
100%.
So when did you turn it into a business?
I turned it into a business in 2023.
Okay.
I'm still a licensed occupational therapist. I work at a rehab in North Wilmington per diem.
Nice.
And so I'm keeping that active. And I really love that work. It's really meaningful. But I did go to very part-time after my baby was born, and I really thrived in that role as a stay-at-home mom.
Heck yeah.
I really loved it. And let me just like go through my literal entire house and reorganize everything. Lesson learned, also involve your partner.
Yes. Oh, for sure.
She would come home and be like, babe, where
go?
Is everything?
Yeah.
I can't find anything in my own home. Oh, babe.
Sorry. It's gone.
It's better. It's better. So lesson learned. But I mean, I definitely feel like we have to be a team and work on that same page together. But I said, you know what? This is like who I'm meant to be. And it perfectly marries the occupational therapy framework and lens through which you're evaluating people, the environment, routines, and systems. And it's just like, I was made for this.
Yeah.
It just feels that way. And like, I've had these few moments in my life of like this gut feeling of like, this is exactly what I'm supposed to be doing. When I met my wife, I'm going to marry her. When I toured Jefferson campus at Philly, I'm going to live here.
Yeah.
And then this, like, it started as a whisper at my best friend's wedding. I said to a bridesmaid, like, I could actually do this.
Right.
And then it took off. It
Yeah.
took off really fast.
Yeah. I love that. That's amazing. It's amazing. So who are you typically working with? Like, what's your day to day? What's your typical, clientele? What's this look like for you as a business owner?
Okay. So, in the beginning, you will work with anyone under any circumstances.
Yes. Oh yeah. I'm in real estate.
A really wide net.
I'm in real estate. Yes, I know.
But really firming up that my passion is helping busy families like me and also working with people that are neurodivergent or have mental health issues, any brain-based conditions. I think my occupational therapy background helps tremendously with that. But also, the ability to look at families as a system and families as multiple people who are interdependent on one another in different ways and in different stages developmentally, and, you know, different demands on them because of life. And so, like, how do we just strip away the bullshit?
Yeah.
And
Hell
simplify.
yeah. I love that.
And just simplify. And this is my passion. This is my purpose. And so, like, you know, I'm working X number of hours a week, but I'm always working because I love to read everything that I can. I love to watch every show about home organizing. I love to, you know, listen to podcasts about it. I want to know everything. And also because it's so personalized, it's like, I want to be able to talk to anybody about a kitchen organization in many different ways. I don't want to have one script or one
because one size
kind of
doesn't always fit
mindset.
all.
Right. And so, like, there's so much value in listening and reading people who are different than you, have had different experiences, different backgrounds. And so I want to bring all of that to the table. So I'm constantly researching. I offer free discovery calls. So people will schedule a time to meet with me. We'll talk for 30 minutes. I'll be like, if you want to be brave, send me some pictures. So I can see the scope of what's happening. I have people reach out via text that aren't too nervous to talk, but they're curious. They have a couple questions. That's fine too. I think it's important to establish that rapport because this is a really intimate process.
It is. It really
is.
is.
I was telling Jade at the front, like, you're literally bringing me into your home to show me the parts that you're hiding from everyone else.
Wow.
There's tons of shame, tons of guilt. People are embarrassed. People are apologizing. But it's like, this is so common. So many people have
they don't
clutter.
realize that.
Right. And also they don't realize that clutter happens to everyone. Even, like I say, minimalists like me. My wife's not a minimalist. My son's not. And I am vigilant as hell with all the things that are coming my way because there's so much coming at us that even for someone who's so organized and so affected emotionally by clutter, like, it still happens to me. It just happens. Like, it's okay. But so, I mean, I work with people one-on-one. I drop my son off at preschool. I haul over to their house. We just tear it up. We, like, break up the clutter. Like,
You just jump right in, dive right in.
Yes. The phone call is to establish rapport, to make sure that we're a good fit for each other, to start building that trust, but also to really, like, get the vision, get the breakdown. Like, what's happening? How did this happen? You know, what have you tried before that hasn't worked? What's working well right now in your house? Because people will say nothing, but there's something. There's always something.
Yeah, there's good in everything.
And I'm also interested to know you so that we can use, like, a strengths-based approach. And that way, when I'm coming into your house, I have an idea already of how this is going to go. And I send people contracts and I'll send a prep list. And the prep list is, like, nothing wild, but this idea that, like, I need you to be mentally ready for this because you will be making thousands upon thousands of decisions in a really short amount of time. And I think being a person with depression and anxiety makes me really empathetic. I've had a lot of therapy.
Wow.
I'm a really good listener. I'm super sensitive to a shift in your tone or a facial expression, or be like, what was that sigh about? What was that? Your face. What happened just now? Like, I held this up and what was that? What just happened?
Let's get into it. Let's
pick it apart a little bit. And in that way, this work is so cathartic. It's so therapeutic, and people cry over things that you wouldn't expect. And, you know, there's really just no judgment.
Wow.
It's like, this is a safe space. This is your home. It feels unsafe. And, like, what can we do to get it to a place that feels manageable, where you feel confident, where you can, like, have a weekend where you're away or someone's sick and the whole house is not in total disarray. Easy to reset. So I'm working with clients, you know, 5 hours, 6 hours. And then on Saturdays, I work 8 hours with people. You can get so much done.
Wow.
So much done.
Holy smokes.
And then I'll send a follow-up email. Hey, these are the things that we talked about. Hey,
good. So you have it in writing. I love that.
Here's some products that we talked about. I don't recommend buying products until after we've, like, done the editing and the decluttering. But here's some products. Hey, we talked about moving this. You were going to ask your spouse about whether they wanted to do this.
Are you taking notes while you're doing all this? How do you remember all this?
Oh, heck yeah. I used to try to do it from memory and be like,
Yeah, you're human.
But I take notes and I tell you I'm taking notes. Oh, I remember that you just said you want to fix your dad's camera. I'm going to write that down and we'll find a place for you to take it to get it fixed. Like,
right.
Because
I think everyone's house becomes a to-do list everywhere.
Oh my gosh, yes. And just the mental burden.
I'm gonna do that. And then you go to bed every night feeling like a failure because you didn't do all those things.
It's so true.
Yeah, it's so true. Wow, that's amazing work. Like, I knew this was going to be awesome. I knew you were going to be amazing. I was really excited to talk to you. But I think as I'm hearing you talk more and we're really peeling back the layers, like, this is such an intimate space with people. And we're real estate agents and we get really nitty gritty with people too. We have people whose their grandmother just passed away. We're selling the house. People that are getting divorced. We've had some domestic violence clients. We're pregnant, right? Like, we are going through life with our clients in a different way, but still very emotional. We've had people crying in these very chairs, it's very, very emotional. So I'm just putting myself in your shoes, like how emotional that probably can be sitting with these people. And by the end, like, do you feel like you're like family with these people?
Well, it's so funny because
or do they hate you?
No.
Oh
my gosh. Okay. First of all, I have 70 reviews. They don't hate me. I have had 1 or 2 clients that we don't mesh well together.
Yes,
I've given them referrals. Like, it's
same
okay.
with us. Same
it's
with
not
us.
personal, right?
We are not meant to work with everyone.
It's not personal.
Yes.
I want the best for everybody.
Everyone, yeah.
But yeah, no, like, people don't get angry with me. And I think what
such
happens
a calming voice, I will say.
Thank you.
Yes, I think that's part of it.
First of all, I'm a neutral, third party, unbiased person coming into your home with 0 attachments to your stuff.
Right. I have no dog in this fight. Yeah.
So I will work with clients and then their spouse comes home and they're like, I've been trying to get her to get rid of all of this stuff for years.
Yeah.
But like, I'm not you.
Right. Right.
So like, it's really easy for me. And it's also, the little like Kermit the Frog meme of like, he's sipping tea. I always think about that because I'll come into someone's closet and they'll say, now I already did do it like a recent purge. I already went through it. Okay.
Right. You're like, ha ha ha, ha ha ha, challenge accepted.
Game on. So when I declutter with people, it's really important to me to give back to the community. People have
in your bio. Let's hear about that. Let's talk about that.
People have amazing things that they just don't use. They don't need. They don't want. It still has life
and value.
And you paid so much money for it, but you're not like richer for keeping it in the back of your closet collecting dust. And you're not going to lose money if you give it away to someone who needs it now and will use it. And so that's been a really powerful kind of message to bring home. And that helps people a lot more than just like, oh, I'm just going to like get rid of your stuff. Or like, oh, I'm just going to drop it off at Goodwill. Like, I'm trying to find homes for these things because they were important to you. They had a purpose. And let's look at it from an eco-conscious perspective. Like, there's still value to this. And another thing that I quickly observed in doing this work was that people have a hard time moving out tricky to recycle items, electronic clutter, electronic waste. They got the new phone. The old one just sits in a drawer.
Yeah, it's hard to get rid of. Yes, it's hard to get rid of.
The technology graveyard.
You think that like there's a picture or something on there. Meanwhile, you don't even have the charger anymore. You'll never turn that thing back on.
Yeah. Or speaking of chargers, they'll have like 6,000 chargers.
Yes.
I might need this.
I have 100 pairs of headphones.
Why?
And they don't even match my phone anymore. They don't even, their slot doesn't even work anymore.
There's so many things. People hold on to batteries because they don't know exactly how to get rid of them, or old prescription glasses. I don't know what to do with these. Medication is a hard thing. So I have also included that in my, I'm going to take this away for you.
To where it's supposed to go.
Yeah. And so I recently co-hosted an electronics recycling event with Nerd It Now, who's another small business owner.
Client of ours. We love them.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Nerd It Now. Marquivas. He's amazing.
Marquivas.
We need to get Marquivas on the podcast. We've been trying to book him forever. Yes. Huge fan of Marquivas Gideon and his wife, and they're just amazing human beings. So cool that you did an event with them. What other charities or groups do you work with when you're recycling these items or donating?
I'm a big fan of Friendship House, which I know you are as well because of the small business event. They were here.
Yes, amazing.
I just do a quick shout out like, oh my gosh, bring all your stuff. And then also Phoenix Phoenix Family Resources, Phoenix Dues Clothing,
Yeah.
they have a lot of bins around where you can just drop it off 24 hours a day.
I'm huge on the bins. I'm big on the bins.
Bins are huge.
Yes.
But they also collect like everything.
Oh, nice.
And so in my article, I do talk about, when you're beginning this process and you have so much, like you really just need to focus on mobilizing it out.
Yeah.
Like where people get tripped up is when they're like, oh, but this is a really beautiful sweater that was expensive, so this should go somewhere like fancy or special or nice. And like, this is, a kid's toy that's in great shape that maybe some type of family like this would want.
Right.
No. Just get it out. And so finding these kinds of nonprofits that accept a lot of different things and just
one place, one home, and it's done.
get it out as fast as you can.
Yeah.
Because that's how you build momentum. That's how you build confidence. That's how you're like showing yourself that you're committed to the process. You're doing it, right?
Do you find that your clients feel good throughout this process? Like as it's going on, like they're feeling better? Maybe they're emotional in the beginning when you're kind of starting out or you strike a chord, but by the end, do you feel like they're feeling good about it?
1,000%.
Good. Okay, good. Because I feel good when I have a bag of stuff and I'm like, tell my husband, put it in the back of the car, go take it to Goodwill, or go take it to Friendship House, whatever. I feel like a literal weight lifted off of my shoulders. Like stuff just drags me down. And I don't fully consider myself a minimalist as you are, but I do feel like if there's a percentage of minimalist 100 to hoarder 0, I'm probably like 95% minimalist. I really do feel in my heart like I just think stuff is just like not serving me. And maybe that's because in real estate we often see grandma passes away and everything is just done. The kids don't want it. The grandkids don't want your big huge furniture pieces and
oh my gosh, those hutches.
They don't. Nobody wants
that Habitat for Humanity restored.
No, they don't even
I donate
take
to them a lot. They won't take those things anymore.
Yes.
Yeah.
Your china, right? Like when Vincent's grandmother sold her house, we sold her house for her. They got a dumpster on the front yard and just threw everything in the trash.
Yes.
And it's so unfortunate, but it's like, imagine if she had done that 10 years prior, 20 years prior, and had lived a life of a little bit more simplicity. Maybe that would have made a difference in some aspect of her life. I don't know. But yeah, I'm sure people feel so good.
This feels like a really important moment to plug my favorite show, which is The Swedish Art of Death Cleaning.
Don't know this. Let's hear it.
It's on Peacock. It's my favorite show because it's all about bringing intention into the work, right? And so it's a book that was written by a woman who had a terminal illness, but the show is really uplifting.
Wow.
And it's this idea that like, while you're alive and able-bodied and like of sound mind, like that's a chance to go through your things and tell your stories through these things.
And be intentional.
And I love that. Find new life for them, find new homes for them so that you're not putting this burden on people. Right. And I work with tons of people in transition whose parents have died. I have a client right now whose family died and she's like trying to reclaim the house and live in it and make it hers. So it's like you're wading through all this stuff. And in this one episode, I think it's number 5, it's a man whose parents died and they take him to a landfill and they show him like trucks just dumping shit.
Yes.
And he's like, you are about to like have this happen to you because you have taken on everything from your family and you can't let it go. Mm-hmm. So like, this is what's going to happen to your stuff when you die. Right. Like, is this what you want? And it's just like, you don't think about that. It feels so good in the moment to buy now, but it's all a mind fuck. Like,
wow, you're good. You're good. You're good.
It's all just a scam to get you to buy,
consume.
buy. And we just need so little to thrive, to be happy, for our kids to be safe and to learn and to grow. And like, that's all you need. That's all you want.
So to your average person that is listening to this podcast and they're like, I need to make a change. What do you recommend? How do you even get started into this world besides calling you? Because that's the obvious.
Well, that's a huge first step. That's very brave. I am a believer that you can learn this and master this and like you can do it on your own. You have to just have that focus. Mm-hmm. My mom made fun of me for my business name because of how long it was. And like, you tripped up over it. It's okay. It happens.
Even though I've read it 10 times. Yes.
But I stand by it because this process is so much about intention and mindfulness and stopping, pausing, like putting life on hold to carve out this time to work with me or to work on your own. it's on the calendar. You're invested in it. You're telling people that you're doing it. You are prepared with an exit plan of how the clutter is going to leave. But we've also talked through your goals. And the first thing is like, you have to know why you want this. You have to know like why you deserve this, why there's benefits to it. I think some of clutter is about worth, self-worth, and like believing that I deserve to feel good in my space. And
so true. Changing
this narrative in our head that we have, especially women who are supposed to be doing it all, that like, I'm a hoarder, I'm a mess, I'm a pack rat, I'm a hot mess. I'm, you know, all these things that we say that like we buy into. And it's like, no, like start by just saying like, this is something you need to learn, or maybe you need to relearn or reset, or maybe you've lost your way. Maybe you never learned. Like, it's okay. Like there's no judgment here.
They don't teach this in school.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And know that this is something that like literally so many people struggle with. Right. I've had clients who were like, I'm going to send you a picture, but I've only ever showed my best friend. And it was only after she showed me hers, which was worse than mine.
Right.
So it's just like, everyone is having a hard time with this.
Yeah.
And we have to talk about it, because when you talk about it, you like lessen the shame. Right. And so the first step is really that intentionality. So like, okay, this is my family room. This is my living room. What do I want it to look like and feel like? How do I want my family to engage with each other in here? And what in the current environment is set up to promote that, to like enable that? And what's getting in the way? What are the barriers here? And how can we remove them? Either by decluttering or, you know, changing locations of where things are, setting up some systems, but like really being thoughtful about it, and not just like mom sitting home alone one night, like when the kids are asleep, like what can I do to fix this?
Yeah.
Like talking to the kids.
It's like rage cleaning. That's what I call that. Rage cleaning.
Talking to your spouse and making it a family affair. Like we all live here. We're all contribute. We
use that
all
reference.
Be a part
we're a team.
Of this. Yes. We're on the same team.
Yes.
You know, we want to have more space to play. We want to have more space or more energy to, you know, have good conversations. We want to have, you know, less stress in here. And then you look at what's in the room. You look at the furniture, the art on the wall, every single thing in the room is helping or hurting that goal. And so you just keep bringing it back to these goals of like, a living room that is comfortable and cozy is not going to have like 80 throw blankets.
Right.
That's too many.
Yes. Right. You can only use one at a time. Yes.
You're going to be able to see the floor. You're going to be able to like, you know, find what you need quickly. If somebody's like, hey, let's play a card game. Here's the cards.
Right.
So just always coming back to the purpose, the functionality of the space, and stripping away as much as you can of what gets in the way. And we work on that a lot in my sessions of like, what are the barriers? What do we need to address underlying the clutter?
Right.
But it's getting that mindset piece first.
Yeah.
And also to that end, knowing that this is a lifelong practice.
Right.
I'm choosing that word really carefully. I hope you'll keep my pause.
Yes.
A lifelong practice, because like even for me, as someone who is so easily thrown into anxiety or overwhelm when there's a little bit of clutter in my house, and it's subjective, right? It's like we all have our own personal threshold. Even for me, this is my profession. This is my passion. Like I do this for a living. I still get clutter.
Yeah.
It's still coming in because it's always coming in and it will always be coming in. And so the workaround is just like radical acceptance and like not beating myself up, because like, it's not me, it's the system.
Yes.
It's not me. It's
society.
You know, it's this idea that we have to have party favors with like 30 different small plastic loud shit.
I love everything you're saying. I'm just like nodding.
All this swag that we get.
Yes.
And all these like materials and papers, and school sends home like 6,000 pieces of artwork of my kid going like this.
Yes. It's
I don't
trash.
need it.
It's trash.
And so it's always coming in, and to not go back to that mindset of like, oh, I'm failing. Like, look at this pile.
And it's never too late.
Coming up.
It's never too late. Like,
Yeah.
I'm very big on like when the kids come home with a goodie bag from a birthday party and it's a junk slinky and a sticker and a junk. Like, I throw it away immediately. Like, I'm immediate. But like every once in a while, the artwork will pile up. School sends home 10 things that they literally, I wouldn't call it coloring. I don't know what they're doing.
I know.
But I'm like, it will pile up on the fridge. The fridge will start getting covered in artwork. And then I finally will hit my breaking point and I'm like, it's all trash. It's all trash. But, I'm also trying to enjoy this phase in this chapter. And someday I'm going to miss the artwork, that they're coming home with. So I try to keep that in mind too. So someone that is starting this journey, like, what does that first day look like? Like, what's your style? Are you like, take everything out of the cabinets and let's look at it all in one place? Are we doing one cabinet at a time? Like, what's your style?
Yeah, if you're working with me, we're going to F it all up. We're going to get all up in there and just like break everything up. And I love I'm a hustler. I work really fast. I have a client today that I was talking with and I said, like, the thing that slows us down is your decision making.
Right.
And like, no judgment on that.
No,
like,
yeah,
it's
different
different
harder,
for everybody. Yeah. Sometimes there's like emotionality and someone will start crying because they're thinking about getting rid of these brown bowls that they had, you know, like, we don't know why we're crying about it, but we are. And so we're going to sit with that for a minute and like unpack that because that's going to affect other areas of the home as well.
Right.
But like, I'm not going to be what's slowing this down. I can plow through clutter.
Yeah.
I freaking love it. Obsessed. I can come in and I can see the end. I can already see it cleared.
Oh yeah.
Right. And the contain.
That's how you know you're meant for this.
The contain is the boundary, right? So like, that's where that comes in. But yeah, so the first step is like, to start small. If you're going to DIY, which you can, I suggest it. I try to like blog about that a lot. If you're going to DIY, like, what's a big clutter pain point for you? Like, is it your entryway? Is it like, is it your utensils drawer because you're trying to bake and you can't find anything fast enough? So just pick one space. Yeah. And like, this is how you do it. Just like little by little by little by little, consistently over time, because you're trying to rack up small wins. Yeah. And like, if you hire someone who's going to come for an 8-hour day, of course you're going to have different results. Right. Than if you try to do it yourself.
Right. One drawer at a time. Yeah.
And the truth is that most of my clients are busy moms who are freaking exhausted at the end of the day. So their kids go to bed and they have like 5 minutes of free time and their energy is shit. So like,
it's depleted.
Like, when are you going to get in the mood to like declutter your pantry? Like, it doesn't really happen authentically,
there's no magic time.
Automatically for people. Yeah. So it's like, carve out the time, commit to like 15 minutes. Maybe it's like your junk drawer.
I know someone that says has a timer.
Yes,
she's like, I set the timer and I'm just going to do this for 15 minutes. And that's
Another idea that's popular with like neurodivergent communities is body doubling. So like, hey, come over and have a glass of wine. I need to go through my bookshelf. I need to like, there's way too many books. I need to clear it off. Can you just sit with me?
Yeah, just
and
be
like
present.
Keep me on task.
And
so that accountability is what really rocks for some people. And it's why I offer free accountability.
My husband's coming in and nodding. We're loving everything. Me and him, we're eating you up. Like, I'm obsessed. He calls his sister. Yeah. So Vince's sister.
Yo, look at him coming around the corner and nodding his head.
He's
like
nodding
that.
his head. He's loving this. So Vincent's sister Paige will come over and go through Vincent's clothes with him like probably once a quarter, twice a year, I would say. And she's very big and she should honestly like work for you. She would be if you're looking for employees, she would be amazing because she's very much on, especially with clothes. She's ruthless.
2 questions. Does it fit? Do you wear it?
Do you wear it? And does it fit? She throws it. She's like, nope, you're done. If you have to think about it, then it's probably not. But if you know right away, I wear that all the time, it's a no-brainer. Yeah. So she's ruthless. So she'll go through and she's like, pit stains. This is gone. You look terrible in this. Like, she's it's a sister. So
I was gonna say, I can't be like that hardcore.
No.
Like, definitely, I'm hardcore. So
yeah. I love that. Now, we're getting close to the end, so I have a couple things I want to ask. Are you? So I watched the Home Edit. Yeah. Right? That's what that show's called. Everybody watch that. I love those ladies. They're very big on the rainbow. What are your vibes with that? They are a lot of rainbow. Yeah.
Well, number one, I'm queer. So nice. Like, obviously a fan of the rainbow.
So you're team rainbow. Yeah.
Team rainbow. I think that it's super gorgeous. I think the aesthetic is really nice. I think it works really well for certain things. I think it works a lot better for kids than it does for adults. And it's also an example of this is not for everybody,
Right.
Because they also use a lot of plastic.
A ton. And their bins give me anxiety because I'm like, it's
and
just more
it's
stuff.
so pretty, right?
Yes, but it's
and
more
it's
stuff.
clutter and it's plastic.
Yes.
And it's not environmentally friendly. And it is this, it's not so much one size. I mean, it is like, this is the way we're going to do it.
Right.
And like, that's just like not at all how I'm coming into your home.
No. And I always think, sorry to cut you up, but I just want to finish this thought. Like
please.
when they put all the like bars in a little bin, like say you have a bunch of Cliff Bars and they put them in the bin. Well, what if there's 3 Cliff Bars that don't fit? Like, I'm always like, what are we doing with all the like random extra stuff? Now we have a bin for your front bin and now we have a backstock bin. Like, to me, I would go crazy with that.
Okay, pause. That is a much bigger conversation.
Okay.
Don't be blaming the bins. Don't be blaming the decanting of things. Let's talk about bulk shopping and freaking BJ's and Costco and like why we need to have everything on auto renew
Yes,
for, you know,
for
Amazon
Amazon
sending you like 65 like apple sauce packets at a time. Like, do you want to have a bin that holds 65 packets?
No.
I mean, like how many kids do you have that are
know.
eating applesauce multiple times a day?
Right.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
It's over consumerism. Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, I love everything you're saying. Is there anything else you really want to touch on? Make sure your listener, I feel like I have so many questions for you. And honestly, you should start your own podcast. I know you said you have a blog, so people can, listen to your blog, but you should honestly get on TikTok or Reels or something. And cause you're phenomenal. I love everything you're saying. I'm eating it all up. Let me see if there's any of these I want to hit. Any approach for organizing for families versus individuals? I feel like that's an interesting one.
Yeah, it definitely is.
Because you said your passion's more so families.
Yeah, more so families. I do work with individuals, people who don't have kids, all ages. But yeah, I think when you're working with a family, I think it's really important to involve your family in the thought processes and to normalize decluttering as a way of life. And so
as a practice.
As a practice. Thank you.
She's listening.
Thank you. So, I did have this article in Delaware Today.
Yes.
That I'm so proud of and
Good,
I'm
you should
so
be.
excited about. So I would definitely encourage people to read that.
We'll link it so they can easily click
that. I appreciate that. And then I also have on my blog, I've written about decluttering with kids, written about mistakes that we make. So it's helpful to say something like, okay, we're going to declutter your board books, or we're going to declutter your sweatshirts. We're not going to declutter your whole bedroom. They're kids, right?
Right.
So like, we're going to look at what fits you, what's comfortable, what you wear, make sure it's still in good shape and not too muddy or like, torn up.
Yep.
And do you really wear it? And like, I'm not going to be upset if I gave you something and you don't wear it, or if grandma gave you something that you don't like. It's okay. Like, these are your things. I want you to take responsibility for them. I want you to feel excited about all of your things. So, you have to make the best choice for you. And I support that. But like, know that these things, like, you can keep whatever you want. And also whatever you don't want, we're going to give to another kid in the neighborhood who doesn't have the money to buy these things, or whose family can't help with this.
Right.
So like, you're going to be making someone else really happy and excited.
That's so sweet.
So we're like prefacing, right? We're like telling that story. It also shouldn't come out of nowhere. It should be like, this is what we do. But then we're holding it up. Okay, this book. Do you want to keep this or donate this? Okay. And we have keep and we have a donate pile. And that's it. Keep or donate.
Right.
Keep or donate.
Right.
And not being like, oh, but you used to read this book all the time.
I know.
Oh, no, but this one was personalized for you.
Right.
Like, this is the time to help them feel confident in their own decision making, and to empower them.
Yes.
Like, it's so empowering. I do it with adults, but I do it with kids too. Like, they can have control over their space.
Right.
And like, just like, I think kids are so good at this naturally.
And they're very impressionable too. So like, you can give them good skills at this young age.
They're very, yes. But they also know that they don't want to hurt your feelings. So like, I'll say, okay, keep or donate. And they'll go,
look at mom.
To mom.
Yeah.
Like,
what do you think?
No, don't look at her.
Yeah.
Like, she's already got the script. She knows what's up. Like, she's okay with this.
Yeah.
I might have you come in.
Because it's her idea. She's paying me.
She wants you to get rid of so much. But like, no, it's your decision and it's okay.
Yeah.
And like, we're not going to say like, oh, this is a personalized book, so we're going to put this in a different pile. Like we're just like really quickly sorting and like moving this pile out and away.
And get it away. Yes. Get it out
like,
of your
wow,
brain.
you did so great.
Right.
And like, like, doesn't it feel so good? So like, know that you have exactly what you want and you love. And like, you're going to make another family so happy. And like, that's so generous of you. And we're like giving that praise.
I love
right?
that.
And then it's also this idea of, as a practice, having, maybe like in the mudroom or the entryway, having like a bin. And this is our donate bin.
Yes.
So, you know what? I got a tear in this sweater today and I really love it. But like, I'm not going to have this fixed.
Right.
Like, you know
it's not
what?
worth it.
I'm going to just take this off. I'm going to put this in the declutter bin. And then somebody else can fix it, or Phoenix recycles textiles.
Right.
So like, we're going to move it out. And so just like normalizing that and modeling that behavior for your family.
Yeah.
You know what? I bought these shoes. And if I'm being honest, they're like not really comfortable.
Right. They hurt my feet all day.
So there's like nothing wrong with them.
I'm never wearing them again.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with them. Somebody else will really love these and it probably will rock them. So like, I'm going to give this away. So like,
it's a mindset
even
shift.
when it's a no-brainer,
right?
It's like just modeling that for your kids. And so I have an article about, decluttering with kids that gives you scripts and like things to say because it's so important. Even as you're learning, they don't know that you're not an expert. Like we are all learning this together.
Yeah.
Right. And just to have that mindset that we can grow, we can learn new things. It might be uncomfortable, but like the end result is phenomenal.
Yeah.
And kids don't have the emotional baggage that grownups have.
Right.
So like you're already like ahead of
They're
the game.
already way
with
ahead of
that.
us.
Yeah.
Wow. So strong. So powerful. I love everything. I feel like we'll have you back on at some point because there's just so much to unpack and I have all these questions we couldn't even get to. So where can people follow you if they want to know more about you? Are you on Instagram, Facebook, just your website? Where can people find out more about you?
Okay. So my business name is Consciously Cleared and Contained. So follow me on Facebook or Instagram, Consciously Cleared and Contained.
Love it.
And it's also my website, consciouslyclearedandcontained.com. I am really big on trying to bring this information to the public to make it free and accessible. So like I'm interested in speaking and doing workshops and collaborating with other small business owners.
Love.
I'm really big into responsible discarding of items. Delaware Solid Waste Authority. I'm constantly being like, what can I do with this?
Yeah.
And dropping things off there all the time. Like, let me help you. If you have questions, how do I get rid of this responsibly? Where should I do? I mean, like people like just message me
send you a
random
DM.
questions.
Yep, I'm sure.
Like
We're the same way.
I'm so happy to talk about anything at all. And
I love that.
And and just like the first step is just like having the courage to say that I need help. And
Admittance is the first step, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And like,
Amazing.
it's here. Help is here.
And everyone's been through it at some capacity. Whatever side of the scale you're on, we've all been there. We've all, been through it. So, well, thank you so much for the work you're doing. It's so cool to talk to someone that's so passionate about what they do. And I really have appreciated having you on. I'm sure I'll be calling you for baby clothes at some point because that is definitely one of my lacking skills is I have emotional attachment to every outfit my daughter's ever worn. So that's a whole nother episode, but thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you.
We look forward to connecting with you again in the future and Small Business Saturday. Hopefully we'll have you this year. And otherwise, definitely make sure you follow Kim. And if you need her, slide her DMs and I'm sure she'll be ready to help. Thank you for tuning into this awesome episode of Life on the Ad and we'll see you next week.